a lot of psychology and
tell us the whole story, James.
From beginning to end?
Yes. We have a lot of time. This one is super interesting.
Well, you know, a lot of the biggest stories we get are just meeting people on dating apps. And, you know, it's been about a year, Charlie, since I was fired from the company I founded. About a year to the day almost. What is it? February? Yeah, almost a year to the day. So I'm trying to inspire people, and sometimes as a leader, you have to do the thing yourself because you can't ask other people to do the thing that you're not willing to do. And everyone in there, and I'm sure you get this all the time, but in my business, people are like, well, I can't do what you do, James, because I'm too recognizable in Tucson, or I'm too recognizable in Long Island. So I thought, what better way to show those people up than to have James O'Keefe meet with a guy who works with the White House? Because now those people have no excuse. Well, what's their excuse going to be? And half of the comments, and they're like, they can't believe the guy didn't recognize me. And we'll get into that. But so I decided to just prove to people that it can be done, and it will be done, because if I can do it, anybody can do it.
So you go on Hinge?
I think, well, we go on a lot of the ones. We do all. They have all the different ones. I think this one was actually Tinder. This guy, I have his profile. He's now taken it down.
And he works in the Biden White House, is that right?
He works in the White House Cybersecurity Policy Analyst and Foreign Affairs Executive Office of the President.
So EEOB, the Executive Office?
Yeah, the Executive Office. So he's part of what they call the deep state, the administrative state.
He's in the Eisenhower building right next to the White House, which is that is considered the White House.
Yes, and he supervises two federal agencies, USAID and the State Department. He worked at the State Department 4 years. Goes to Harvard Kennedy School, went to Georgetown. He's not a stupid guy. He's a high up guy. But in Washington, D.C., Charlie, people are very, you know, for lack of a better word, narcissistic. They're very focused on their own grandiose identities. And usually I don't, in a video, put my tradecraft. But I actually left in the part where he's like, enough about me. What about you? And I'm like, my life isn't interesting, okay? I work in publishing. Not false. But you're like James Bond. And he's like, oh, stop. So it just goes to show you that people just want to talk about themselves, you know.
So just so everyone understands, because James is dancing around this a little bit, this is a powerful, it's in the White House, gay staffer. Yeah,
he's gay,
and so you're on a date with him.
Well, I suppose he thinks that.
No, I know that you're not.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I'm 0% gay. I'm 100% confident in my own masculinity. I will do anything to get the story, though, and I'm a thespian, right?
Anything?
I will. Well, we don't touch people. I didn't hold the guy's hand. But Charlie, you know I'm a thespian.
I'm giving you a hard time, James. And you've played into it beautifully.
I've played pimps, drug dealers, traffickers, homeless people, telephone technicians. But I was. If you look at this video, I was dialed in.
Oh yeah.
In other words, what's going through my mind is when he starts talking about what we can't say publicly. That's the story to me, because it's the lying. It's him saying, we can't talk about this publicly. And I say, but what have you heard? He says, well, I've heard a lot of things about Kamala Harris, Joe Biden's mental abilities. He talks about being in a meeting with Michelle Obama. And while this is happening, I'm just completely dialed in. And I'm thinking about the headline as I'm sitting with the subject. That's what's going through my mind in these situations.
I love this on many different levels. And I do want to play some of the tape here because it's amazing. And it's the second most viral story of the last year, right?
Yes.
It's behind Pfizer.
Correct.
Right? And so here's James O'Keefe, who has millions of followers on social media, super well recognized, and you just kind of put a disguise on, right?
A sort of disguise. I dyed my hair gold and put on glasses. That was it.
Let's go through this. So his name is Charlie Krager, right?
Yes.
He manages federal agencies and the State Department. Charlie thinks he's on a gay Tinder date, but he's not. Play cut 110.
I work at the White House.
So you're pretty high up in the government.
Yeah, I'm fairly high up. I'm good at keeping secrets, and so I manage two federal agencies, the State Department and USAID.
So when you say it's like security, like you're protecting
the networks of the federal agencies that you give all your information to.
The mission is to protect information.
And we are like the president's voice when we go into meetings in terms of discussing and promoting the president's priorities.
So just so everyone understands, this is not an unusual type of staffer as far as, willing to talk about their line of work. Is that correct?
You mean people do this typically with me? They just talk and
No, just in D.C. There's a fair amount of.
Yes, it's a sociological phenomenon where the way I would put it is there's the Potemkin talking points. And I'm skipping ahead for a minute. Just yesterday, I released the full confrontation of the guy, and I'm like, I'm James O'Keefe. I take off my disguise, and he has this moment, and he goes into talking point mode. He's like, the president is very concerned about cybersecurity and has just issued. He starts talking like a Washington D.C. politophile, but as long as there's a gap between the official Potemkin North Korean style false talking points and how people actually talk, it'll be very easy for me to expose them because none of these people actually believe in these talking points. They don't even believe their own propaganda. That's the story. They don't actually believe it. So when you just go into a bar in Washington, and where they're all narcissists, they all believe in themselves. They don't believe in what they do. So that's the story.
I want to play another tape here. We're waiting for. Yeah, let's play this one here. Let's play cut 111, please. He says that Biden will be the nominee. This is interesting. This is internal chatter that Biden's going to be the nominee and Kamala will be his vice president. But there was a debate on whether or not they should remove Kamala from the VP ticket. Play cut 111.
Is he going to be the nominee?
Yes. And she will be the vice president nominee.
Yeah, I don't.
There was a debate about removing her from the ticket, but sadly they didn't.
She can't keep black staff. They quit on her in mass.
So for those on radio, what was he saying there?
So he was saying Biden will be the nominee. Kamala, is it Kamala or Kamala?
I don't know. Cammy, yeah.
Harris will be the vice president. And then he says she can't keep black staff. That there was some reporting of the New York Times that a lot of the black staff did not like her, but he confirms this. He says they all quit on her. She's a bad leader, and they wanted to get rid of her, but he goes on to say they can't get rid of Kamala Harris because she's a black woman, according to them. And he's talking about how horrible this is because they need to get rid of them, but they can't because of that.